Also new tonight, January isn't over just yet, and it's Human Trafficking Prevention Month. Oftentimes, hotels are on the front lines of identifying and stopping trafficking, as well as supporting survivors. In Illinois, that includes mandatory training, strengthened by a new law from two of our local lawmakers. So here to break all of this down is Keenan Irish, Vice President of Government Relations and Member Engagement for the Illinois Hotel Association. Keenan, thank you so much for being here with us. I want you to start by bringing us into your world. When we say hotels are on the front lines, what does that look like?
Well, thank you very much, Shelby, for having me on to talk about such an important issue. Hotels are often the first place that warning signs of human trafficking appear, which is why we've taken such a proactive, prevention-focused approach to addressing this crime. An estimated 27 million people are in forced labor or human trafficking situations worldwide at any given time. And we view our efforts not as a compliance exercise, but really as a core responsibility to our guests, to our employees, and our communities. So one of the main reasons that we see human trafficking occur in hotels is it's just a business that human traffickers use. That's why we try to make sure that our employees understand how to recognize trafficking, but most importantly, what to do next. The last thing we want to do is ever put a victim's life in danger. So making sure that they understand when is the right time to talk to law enforcement.
And I do want to get to what comes next in just a little bit, but first let's talk about how people even identify that. You got to go back to 2019. Illinois passes this law. It requires certain hotel, restaurant, even truck stop workers to attend mandatory trainings on human trafficking. So what sort of things do you go over in these trainings?
So a lot of what we're talking about is really just taking up on social cues and seeing what happens when someone comes into a hotel. It could be as simple as seeing if an individual has control of their own possessions. Are they able to hold their purse or their bags or their ID or their credit card? Checking if that credit card matches the name on a reservation. I know a lot of people when they check in think, what's the point? But that's a lot of why we're looking at those kinds of things. It could also be making sure that our housekeepers are keeping an eye on a room when they clean it. If there's a room with a lot of video equipment that doesn't really make sense, that's something that they're trained to keep an eye on. Or, for example, if a room's had a do not disturb sign on it for too long, that's just another warning sign that we need to get eyes on that room and see what's going on.
And then what happens next? If someone spots a warning sign or a red flag, let's say a front desk worker, what do they do with that information?
Well, as part of our training, really what we do is we make sure that they understand who they need to talk to first. Make sure that they build enough evidence for their case so that when they do go to law enforcement, that we're not going to put a victim's life in danger. So making sure that you've got a good, sturdy case, and then calling whether it's your local police department. We also partner a lot with the FBI, with Illinois State Police, the Attorney General's office, the state's attorneys in every county across the country or across the state, sorry, and just making sure that they are aware of what's going on and that you're there to be a partner with them.
So I want to talk about a law that was passed just last summer in 2025. Two of our Quad City lawmakers, State Senator Mike Halpin of Rock Island and State Rep Greg Johnson of East Moline, helped pass this new law that allows local governments and law enforcement officers to penalize hotels that don't go through with this training. Was that something that had been an issue?
So this is something that we had heard a problem from a couple municipalities across the state is they came to us and they said, we think people are in compliance, but we don't really know and we don't know what we can do. So we went back and looked at the law and realized that there were no penalties in there to make sure that if someone is not doing these trainings, that they can be held accountable. So we went with Senator Halpin and Representative Johnson, and we've put together a really good bill that makes sure that if someone is not doing that training, that they are getting penalized for it, but also making sure that, again, it's a prevention-based approach. So there's a warning at first to make sure that you have 30 days to come into compliance with the training. And then after that, those fines can be levied. And it is important to note these trainings are offered for free by the state of Illinois on the state's Department of Human Services website. We also offer the trainings to our members through their membership. And then many of the hotel brands, such as Marriott and Hilton and Hyatt, have their own human trafficking trainings that they require as part of their brand agreements.
And before I let you go, really quickly, we talked about solutions that happen, after red flags have been discovered. So what are some ways that Illinois hotels support survivors and connect them to resources?
One of the biggest things that we have is we have the No Room for Trafficking initiative that the AHLA Foundation, which is our national partners in Washington, D.C., have run. And they partner all the time with with survivor focus groups, with organizations, and on workforce development initiatives to make sure that survivors not only are saved from these situations, but that when they're done, they have access to training, to stable employment, to housing, and to long-term economic opportunity. Just really making sure that they have the pathways they need to re-enter society and be able to truly come back.
It's an important topic, and like we talked about, it's a really big issue for hotels all across the country, including right here in Illinois. Thank you so much, Keenan, for joining us today. I appreciate this.
Thank you.
For you guys at home, you might remember earlier this month, we spoke to Family Resources about misconceptions around human trafficking. You can find that story on our website under the As Seen on TV tab.